What's up, everybody? I go by the name Pakofi, and I bring you greetings from my room. That's where I'm speaking from. I want to cut straight to the point. So, about a year ago in 2022, my mother was diagnosed with cervical cancer. And I remember when the news broke, I don't know about my siblings, but I, for one, I was really thinking about how my mother is taking the news. I wasn't even thinking about how I'm going to deal with it or how I'll be, I like how I took it. I was just thinking about how my mother is going to deal with this thing, because if you know her very well, and as typical of Ghanaian mothers or the black society, when we hear of cancer, we think, oh, that's the end. There's no coming back from this. So knowing that and knowing who my mother is, I was really thinking about her. And that day, I didn't go to the hospital with her. She went with one of my brothers. So when they called, I think they texted, my brother texted in our family WhatsApp group, told us that this is what the oncologist is saying, that after the diagnosis, they've seen that there is a tumor developing in her lower abdomen, and after several checks and everything, they found out that it is cervical cancer. So when my mother came home, I tried to psych her up. Didn't really talk about the illness or the disease, whatever we want to call it. Didn't really want to talk about it with her. I wanted to find other things to just take her mind off from that thing, because, you know, as I said earlier, she's one type that some of these things really get to her, and dealing with it becomes very difficult. So I'll be there talking to her, trying to eliminate fear that, oh, with God, all things are possible, and she's one person that is a staunch believer. So, oh, with God, all things are possible, everything will be fine, just relax, don't think about it too much, just trying to psych her up. But I think fear got her way, or fear got its way into her heart, into her mind. It took over her whole being, so she became afraid. And you know what fear does? It makes you doubt the word of God. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you doubt everything that you used to believe in. So it started like that. And now she'll be very quiet. My mother is a very lively person. She was a very lively person. But after that news broke, she'll be very quiet at times. She stopped vibing like she used to. She stopped dancing. Like, she'll be awfully quiet. She became weak. Somebody who the only time you hear her complain or listen to her complain about something is headache, at most waist pains. But even with that, the next dawn, you go and you not meet that woman on her bed. Somebody who was literally severely complaining about waist pain, knee pain, you will not go and meet her on her bed. Very lively, very energetic, full of life, hard-working woman. But now, she does not even get out of bed. she became very weak. And from the things that I've read, the cervical cancer, the reaction was sped or was rapidly growing because of the fear, the anxiety, everything. So it was like her whole being accepted the fact that this is not something that she's coming out of. So the disease also had its way, and it did what it did to her. Got her bedridden for like 9 months, back and forth, going to the hospital. And I remember after the diagnosis, the second time that we went there, they said, "Oh, Mama, it's not too late to start, what's this treatment called? The one they do for cancer patients. Chemotherapy. It's not too late to start chemotherapy." And she had also heard from other people that chemo is the worst and it spoils everything. Me trying to convince her that, oh, you can do it. Chemo is not that dangerous. And as blacks as we are, most of us, we don't read on our own, so we depend on what we hear from other people, what we hear in the news, what we hear from family, friends, and people who barely have any knowledge about or have in-depth knowledge about the topic or whatever we are discussing. They will be feeding you information. So they got their way to her and made the fear even worse. So she made up her mind that she's never going to do chemo. And what can I say? What can I do about it? My father also heard from a family friend that his wife also was diagnosed with cervical cancer. They went through chemo, but she didn't make it. So they should try alternative medicine. So that was what they resorted to. Fast forward in 2023, this year, in July, my mom passed away. Rest easy, Mama. She passed away, and I just want to use this opportunity to tell all ladies, all women out there, whoever this message reach, that there is something to be done about cervical cancer. If you get early diagnosis, if you are diagnosed early, you can go and check. There's this thing called pap test or something. You can go and check. If you hear of any history, or even if you've not heard of any history of cervical cancer in your family, you can be the first. Go and check. If you are diagnosed early, there is a lot to be done about it. And don't let anybody without in-depth knowledge tell you or put fear in you that this thing, there is no way you are coming out of it. Seek professional advice. Pray, and God will help you and see you through. These things, they are really killing people. And it's not even just about cervical cancer. Any other ailment, any other disease, when you feel like you are not feeling too well, seek professional advice. Don't be taking medication on your own prescription, self-medication, what we call self-medication. Don't be doing that. Try as much as possible to go to the hospital. If you believe in herbal medicine, seek the advice of people who have in-depth knowledge in that particular herb so that they can help you. But I believe in early diagnosis. Just check. And this month being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I urge all ladies out there to go and check. You can do self-assessment. Look it up on the internet, how to do self-breast assessment to see if there is any lump in your breast, if there is any growing in your breast, if there is anything unusual that you have to check. Please do well and check. Don't let these things kill our ladies. Don't let these things kill our queens, because it's curable. Even if it's not completely gone, you'll be sustained for a very long time to do whatever you are supposed to do on earth. I'll come again with a lot more. Until then, take care of yourselves. Love, peace, and light.